The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What's up, everyone? Staniel Smooth here. I wanted to show you guys a cool thing we're doing. This podcast is sponsored by Canada Dips, the newest lineup to the dip game, but in CBD form. The Canada Dips lineup features products made for every man's lifestyle. All tins are proudly crafted from the hills of Humboldt County in California. It's filled with flavor and will give you that good vibe that CBD brings to the room. So what are you waiting for? Use the promo code BELLYUP20 in all caps at CanadaDips.com for 20% off your next order. That's BELLYUP20 at CanadaDips.com.
It's time to BS.
Anyone else put cinnamon in their coffee, or is it just me? I find myself putting a little cinnamon in my iced coffee at here 8 o'clock at night on a Thursday, nonetheless. Damn, that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Staniel Smooth. I'm coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York, part of the Belly Up Sports and Belly Up Media Network. It is time to BS, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, it is a Thursday. I'm going solo here for tonight's episode. For episode 230. It's 2:30. Off to a great start, nonetheless. I don't like doing this shit solo. But I do it anyway because it allows me to get some stuff off my mind. And I thought of doing a solo show, like a separate solo podcast, but that was too difficult to do. Not only this, but also Smoothly Baked, the other podcast I have with my fiance, and then on top of that, do a third show. You're out of your mind. You're crazy. So, nonetheless, we got a decent looking show, and I will start things off because I recently got YouTube TV. The NFL Sunday Ticket is now doing a monthly subscription that I recently just discovered. So, if I'm a little late to the party, I apologize. But it's like $150 a month for like 4 months of football. Plus you get playoffs. Plus you get the Super Bowl. Plus you get primetime games and blah, blah, blah. Which is like, okay, fucking awesome. I'm down. And it brought out an interesting debate that I have gone back and forth on for some time. And that is streaming versus physical media. And I've stated this before, and I will state it again. I love my physical media. I love my DVDs. I love my games. I have an entire toolbox to the left of me that is filled with games ranging from the PS2 to the GameCube, the 360, Series X, PS4, Wii, and the Switch. I love my physical media. I will die on this hill that I will always think of physical media as superior to digital media. Because you have the DVD, you own it. And it helps especially when thrift stores are selling DVDs for $5 a pop. That's very helpful. That is extremely helpful. However, if you are an in-betweener like myself, you will find yourself having a streaming service or 2 or 3. In this case, I have 4? Well, 3 I use. I use Disney Plus, Peacock for wrestling and Law and Order and stuff. Now I'll use YouTube TV. But there isn't really a clear winner here to flat out decide which is preferred. It's mostly just a preference here. It doesn't matter. Tribalism does not exist here. The complete opposite of Twitter. I like to joke around and say, this show is the opposite of Twitter. Wherever viewpoint is welcome. This is a comfort zone. I don't give a shit about your viewpoints. I'm not right. No one here is right. Every opinion is welcome. That's how I like to view this shit here. Speaking of viewpoints, apparently Lou Lamoriello is racist. Islanders general manager Lou Lamoriello has had a team-wide rule that has gone back for decades. It isn't even technically his rule. It's the Yankees rule. The George Steinbrenner has implemented that rule when he was the owner of the Yankees. Clean shaven, short hair, no long hair, blah blah blah. We get it. It's not that bad. New Islander Anthony Duclair is catching. I guess is the center point, is the punching bag here. I guess it's controversial, but it really isn't. People are saying Lou Lamoriello is racist. I'm like, do you understand what the term racist means? Let's, in proper context here, Anthony Duclair, a black man, has dreadlocks or had dreadlocks and a beard. He had to shave it off when he joined the Islanders. You knew what you signed up for when you came here. Okay? It's not like you were going to keep the dreadlocks the whole time. Let's be honest here. Do you guys not remember the glorious mullet that was Matt Martin? And his glorious long hair? That was gone the second he came to the island. He came back to the Islanders with Lou. That was gone. Matt Barzal, his long hair, gone. Okay? I can gladly get Scott Mayfield. Good Lord, Scott Mayfield early on had some glorious hair. That's gone. You guys really suck at this. It seems to me that people are just labeling shit as racist for the simple pleasure of just wanting to get attention. What are you, in high school? It's like, come on. I am dead ass excited about the Islanders this year. They have some new faces, new acquisitions, hopefully a bounce back season for the club. And let's be honest here, are some of Lou's rules stupid? Probably. Do I complain much about them? Nope. Why? Because I want to watch this team win, for God's sakes. This isn't hard. This isn't a hard thing to do. This isn't really a difficult thing. You just want to watch your team win? No. You want to complain about the dumbest of shit. This fan base will find anything to complain about. Now apparently Lou Lamoriello, an 80-year-old man, is racist. Just because he wanted Anthony Duclair to shave his head. Okay. Why is this a problem? And Gord Miller of Sportsnet, who called games for the NHL for a hot minute, even he said this rule's ridiculous. I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. In my opinion, I don't care. I want to see my team win. I think a lot of fans want to see their teams win by any means necessary. If the Islanders came out of the ice wearing fursuits and diapers, I would be like, oh, okay, that's a little much. No kink shame in the furry community, of course. We don't kink shame here in this department. But apparently, Lou is racist. I've seen everything. not a lot of news going on. Mariners fired Scott Service as manager after 9 seasons and 1 playoff appearance. That's just disappointing as shit. Seahawks announced a trade to get Michael Barrett from the Panthers, rookie from Michigan, in exchange for corner Mike Jackson, a 1-for-1 deal. Jahad Dotson traded to Philadelphia from Washington, a rare NFC East interdivision trade. That's rare. You never see that shit You never see that shit anymore. It's crazy. It's crazy shit. I stopped doing the Smooth Report for a bit because I really don't have any other shit to report on as of right now. Maybe once I get the hang of the whole doing this crap solo. When Jack is not here, when John's not here, when others are not here. Maybe once I get the hang of this thing, I'll bring back the Smooth Report and film school and so forth. Speaking of bullshit, I recently discovered something. So I have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Yes, I don't have the newest Call of Duty. Piss off. And and it has crossplay capabilities for Series X and other platforms. For some reason, this game took up 300 gigs of data on my Series X. I recently discovered I can delete 1 copy of the game and just keep the Series X copy. I saved 120 gigs. Jesus, it's crazy. You ever find some random shit that you discover out of nowhere and go, oh, that's nifty and convenient. We like these things. That's worthy of the Old Spice button. I'm very optimistic on the Seahawks this season. Speaking of the Seahawks and trade and stuff. 2 preseason games down, 1 to go. And I'm thinking, who are they playing against? Dallas? Green Bay? I can't remember the schedule at the top of my head. Oh, it's the Browns. Really? They play Cleveland? No kidding. Tomorrow. Nice. And then they face Bo Nix, who's making his first NFL start in Seattle, by the way, against the Seahawks. Thank you, Sunday Ticket. Woo! I'm excited for this. I'm very optimistic for the Seahawks this season. Very optimistic. I am very excited for a new creative defense. I'm very excited for a new creative offense. And not just the same 5 or 6 plays on offense over and over and over again. Shout out Pete Carroll. I'm also very excited for a new creative defense that shows creativity, aggression, and not just the same 3 or 4 formations over and over and over again. Shout out Pete Carroll. This is exciting, man. You know, I lived through Mike Holmgren. I lived through the one lowly, abysmal year of Jim Mora. And I lived through Pete Carroll, of course. You know, oh, shocker, he's not a bandwagon fan. I know, right? Weird. Shocker, I actually liked this team before Pete Carroll. Crazy, right? I used to get called a frontrunner all the time, probably because I was like, oh, I'm rooting for the Ravens for this Super Bowl. And I was excited when they won. I was like, oh, cool, exciting. But deep down, I was like, you know what? I like my boys. I like my Seahawks. I do. The boys make me proud. Gets me all warm and fuzzy whenever I get to talk some football. What do I think will be the biggest improvement for the Seahawks this season? Probably just all around the creativity. I saw some highlights from the 2 preseason games against the Chargers and Titans, and I was like, oh, they're getting creative on defense. That's exciting. They're getting some of the rookies in. They're getting some of the young guys in overall. Nehemiah Pritchett and DJ James, the two Auburn rookies, they've shown promise. Tyrese Knight, the rookie from UTEP, shown some promise as well. Rookie linebacker. Byron fucking Murphy. Whew. Good Lord. That man is an animal. He reminds me so much of Max Crosby. But like a bigger Max Crosby, you know? Like a more wide Max Crosby. Puts fear in your heart, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden you shit your pants when The Undertaker comes out. Still my favorite sound. Still great. Another thing I'm flat out excited about is the creativity. Just the overall creativity, both offensively and defensively. You know, for so long we've been so used to just run up the middle, run to the outside, play action pass, quick pass, bubble screen, blah, blah, blah. Same 5 or 6 plays, and every now and then there's a deep play in there. It's like, Jesus Christ, enough. This offense isn't from 1982, it's from 2024. And from what you don't know about Ryan Grubb, the new offensive coordinator here in Seattle, I say here in Seattle like I'm actually there, but I'm really in New York. Shocker, right? What you will expect from Ryan Grubb is a lot of creativity, a lot of motioning with the offensive line, and just a lot of motioning all around. And apparently the comparison you get from Mike McDonald's a defensive Sean McVay. That really tickles my fancy. Yay. Speaking of tickling your fancy, Juan Soto is going to get a massive contract from the Yankees or somebody. It's going to be someone else because it's Scott Boras. He's a Boras client. That's what's going to happen here. Juan Soto is going to leave the Yankees, command a $60 million per year deal for 8 years, which is, do the math, $480 million total. Right? 60 times 8, $480 million. Now, what you really could do is force a 10-year deal out of his ass. Then all of a sudden that turns into a $600 million deal. This is one of the many reasons why I expect baseball to get a salary cap soon. Not only should it help, like, limit these massive contracts, but it also helps out the little guy here, the small market clubs. Speaking of small market clubs, the Mariners, to make that transition notable, fired their manager after 9 seasons, Scott Service, and 1 playoff appearance. 21 years it took for the Mariners to make the playoffs since 2001. They beat the Blue Jays in what was it, 3 games? 5 games? Fuck it, I can't remember. And from there, it's just been a downward spiral of stupidity. Yeah, I'm a Yankee fan, but I'll watch the I'll watch the Mariners games. You know, they're like, oh, they're on, sweet, I can watch the Mariners. It's exciting. Seattle has 2 or maybe 3 Cy Young potential winners in Logan Gilbert. Robbie Ray's out for the year, I think, and then Luis Castillo. They have a borderline MVP candidate in Julio Rodriguez. They have playmakers all around. Cal Raleigh, you know, J.P. Crawford, the aforementioned Julio Rodriguez. They have talent, which makes you wonder, how the fuck did they blow the 10-game lead in the AL West? How do they do that? It's one of those things where you look and just go, there's fingers that need to be pointed at someone here. This time it was Scott Service. Well, here's my argument. Here's my argument. You can blame Scott Service all you want, but it really starts at the top here. With Jerry DiPoto, the team president and de facto GM, and Scott Service. that's not Scott Service, John Stan, the owner, which is an overwhelming problem for small market clubs, not just in baseball, but across all sports, where the small market teams are basically picked to shreds and they're not taken seriously. Don't believe me? Look at a team like the Miami Marlins, for example. They had the MVP they had the National League MVP in Giancarlo Stanton, trades him away to the Yankees that offseason. Christian Yelich, great player with Miami, goes to trade to Milwaukee, MVP. Marcell Ozuna, okay, bad example, but like D. Gordon, Jose Fernandez. Well, that's a whole other story, but the Mariners are not taken seriously, not only because of the fact that Seattle is practically a small market. It's a big city, yes, but that market is small in the sports realm. Like, yeah, when the Seahawks are winning, it's great, and when the Sonics were around and they were winning, it's great, but like, for a majority of the time, no one gives a shit about Seattle sports. Because why? It's a small market. Baseball's a big problem with baseball is they do not allow the small market clubs to succeed. Now, that is obviously a gigantic question mark, or the asterisk, however you want to put it, because Kansas City won a World Series not that long ago. But you can also throw the Royals in there because they've just imploded in a half for 6 years. They've just started to get good now, which is, patience. But Stacey Ross over at Seattle Sports Radio compared the Mariners to the Baltimore Orioles, where it's like, no. Baltimore stunk the joint. Baltimore's a big market. A big market. And they got stupid lucky this year and last season now, because they struck gold on a bunch of prospects. Struck gold. The Mariners are in every single problem as teams like, Kansas City, Oakland, soon to be Vegas, Miami, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Colorado. It's Tampa Bay to a certain degree. The small market clubs are never taken seriously. Why? Because the owners don't give a shit. The owners don't give a shit. Unless if you're a team like, let's say, unless you're a big market like Milwaukee, which that's not even saying. Like, the only exception is Milwaukee, funny enough, because Milwaukee is, a small market to a degree, but they're winning constantly. They're winning. They're winning games. They're winning pennants. They're getting to the postseason. They're winning playoff series. They're doing these things. And then you get to a team like, say, I don't know, San Diego. There's another one. San Diego's a small market. They're imploding right now. But my point is that the owners of the small market clubs don't give a shit. And I think the only reasonable way that changes is you implement a salary cap to Major League Baseball. It might not happen, but let's be honest, it very well could. It very well could happen, you never know. So that's just where I stand on here. Shifting over to some wrestling. There's an overwhelming question here. I have a great question for you guys. And Cody Rhodes is the undisputed WWE champion as we're recording currently. And Roman Reigns has returned at SummerSlam a few weeks ago and is arguably more over than Cody. A big question here is, do you turn Cody Rhodes heel? No. First of all, you can't. He's essentially bulletproof. He's a bulletproof babyface. Do you understand? Okay, I'm going to give you all business perspective here. From a business point of view, do you understand how badly that would kill WWE's momentum if they turned Cody heel now? Not even just now, but like in the future. Kiss their momentum goodbye. Now, you could have like a John Cena situation where Randy Orton is somehow the babyface here. Randy Orton babyface being Roman Reigns. And you keep that momentum going. But you can't turn Cody. It's like asking John Cena to turn heel. It is in his prime. It is virtually impossible. You cannot turn this guy heel unless you are seriously willing to risk the implosion of your momentum if you're WWE. It's not going to happen. Speaking of implosions, AEW's ratings has hit the shitter again. They're approaching the 500,000th ratings. Oh boy. Again, I want this company to succeed. Shut the hell up. I want them to do well. Fuck all of y'all. Seriously. Can't get out of their own way, can they? Did you guys see the Saraya and Tony Storm match? The non-title match? Oh, good lord. This was yesterday as we're recording on today is Thursday. Oh, so bad. Makes me want to puke. Good lord. You know what I should do? You know what I should absolutely do? I should take a shot. Here's a drinking game. Take a shot for every botch AEW has. Make this game fun. Now, you can also do this with WWE. And I lost track of where I was going here. I'm trying to make a drinking game. I'm trying to make a wrestling drinking game. Actually, yeah. Take a shot for every flip in AEW. Seriously, it's fun. Makes Dave Meltzer jizz himself. God damn it, Dave Meltzer. Can't stand the guy. I really can't. You know what else I can't stand? I can't stand Twitter. Great transition there. Great transition, Dan. I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter saying, oh, dating is hard, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, every time I go on Twitter, it's either people complaining about the dumbest of shit or just porn bots or politics or just stuff. I don't care. Give me some stuff. Give me some interesting shit. None of this is interesting. I like how I'm complaining about this shit like my voice matters. When really it doesn't. I don't make the algorithms. I don't give a shit. I was one of my favorite things to do is listen to Patrice O'Neal. When he was alive, he had a radio show called the Black Phillip Show with Patrice O'Neal. And it's one of my favorite things to listen to every now and then. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of radio on YouTube. And it's fantastic content. And one of his primary messages was for men. Just better yourself for the long run. Now, he may come across as misogynist, in quotes. But if you actually listen to the guy instead of going by every single Twitter user out there and piggyback off of their opinions, you actually can listen to you. If you actually listen to him, you will get a little inspiration and stuff like that. It's like Andrew Tate. Okay, bad example. Kevin Samuels? I was going somewhere with this. I was going somewhere. I'm trying to stall time for the NFC North preview, because still got to do that. We got a massive NFL playoff prediction show that we're going to do in a couple weeks. Right? A couple weeks? Oh, shit. That might be in 2 shows from now. That might be next week. Oh, shit. Woo! The NFL season starts in 2 weeks. Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen. We fucking made it. Wow, we made it, boys. We fucking made it. I missed you, football. I missed you so much. Let's get to the NFC North preview so I can get my brain working. So, to continue the Time to BS NFL preview series, we continue with the NFC North. So, to start this NFC North preview, we have the Minnesota Vikings to start, who finished last season with a 7-10 record. Key losses include Kirk Cousins. Actually, aside from Kirk Cousins and Danielle Hunter, not a lot of losses. Which is weird, because you would think to yourself, oh, this is and Alexander Madison, too, I forgot about him. Because you would think a team like Minnesota would be, oh, this is going to be an interesting little club here. Key acquisitions include Stephon Gilmore, Shaq Griffin, Andrew Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman, Jonathan Greenyard, all defense, Commodore J. Hill, Aaron Jones on the offense, and Sam Darnold at quarterback. He's the starter because J.J. McCarthy, their first-round pick, tore his knee. We don't like these things. Minnesota is going into their 3rd year under head coach Kevin O'Connell. 3rd year? Right? 3rd year? 3rd year with Kevin O'Connell as the head coach. I want to say Denver gets... Denver. Jesus, why did I think Denver? I want to say Minnesota gets 8 wins. But also, the big kicker here is Sam Darnold's a quarterback. I mean, if McCarthy was starting, I would have been like, okay, maybe they're going to get better. Maybe they get a lot better than their record last year. The loss of Kirk Cousins really doesn't hurt. I mean, you get the experience, you lose the experience, let's just be real here. But at the same point, it's okay. This might be a little bumpy year for Minnesota. Continuing the NFL preview series, we have with the NFC North, we have the Green Bay Packers. Last season finished with a 9-8 record, made the playoffs as a wild card. Oh, Creed Humphrey just signed a 4-year extension worth $72 million, making him the highest paid center in the NFL. Good for you. Oh, Jesus, that's a draft pick I wish Seahawks made, but, you know, stuff happens. Thanks, Pete Carroll. Jordan Love got a massive extension from the Packers. They also signed Josh Jacobs. Xavier McKinney, forgot about him too. And sure, I really don't think the Packers changed their record. They might. Key losses include Aaron Jones. That's it. That's really it. Like, they didn't lose a lot of players, which is nice. I want to say Green Bay state record stays the same. But I also think they dip a little bit. Hard to tell. Because Jordan Love has promise. And this is what you get, ladies and gentlemen, when you play 1 year quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. You, too, can get $55 million a year. Oh, my God. Quarterback contracts, ladies and gentlemen. You can't stand it. Speaking of quarterback contracts that just that are going to make no sense down the road, the most improved team in the NFC North belongs to the Chicago Bears. Chicago last season, despite having the number 1 overall pick, thank you, Carolina, finished last season with a 7-10 record. Key losses include Justin Fields. And that's literally it. Key acquisitions include Rome Odunze, Caleb Williams in the first round, both in the first round, Keenan Allen via trade, Ryan Bates in the trade market from Buffalo, Nate Davis from Tennessee, DeAndre Swift from Philadelphia, Kevin Byard also from Philadelphia. They also re-signed Jalen Johnson to a big 4-year contract. Good for you, Jalen. Really good corner. Great corner, in fact. Gerald Everett from the Chargers. They got him also in free agency. I want to say Chicago makes the playoffs. Let's be honest here. Chicago didn't have a bad team last year. They very well can make the playoffs if their defense is good. And I'm talking like top 15 defense. If the offense is top 15, if the defense is top 15 or better, they make the playoffs. This is a good-looking team. This is a good-looking team on paper. Now, I could be horribly wrong, but there's a possibility I am not wrong, but we shall see. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. Next up, in the Department of Nonsense, we have my pick to win the NFC North, the Detroit Lions. Detroit finished last season 12-5, made to the NFC title game. They probably should have won, but, that's where stuff happens. Key losses include Jonah Jackson. I think that's it. I think that's literally it. Oh, and CJ Gardner-Johnson. Forgot about you. I'm going to clean my ears. Jesus, headphones. Every now and then my headphones tend to drive me nuts. I think Detroit still wins the division. They have everything going right for them right now for the first time in forever. And they can capitalize on it. They really can. There's no reason why they can't. The only team that beats Detroit realistically is themselves. Their biggest weakness is them. And their biggest return by far is Ben Johnson, the OC. He was going to be the head coach of Washington or Seattle. He said, you know what? I'm going to stay in Detroit. We have something going for us. I'm going to keep this thing going. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Detroit, you have a Super Bowl contender building, and good Lord, is it exciting. Because they deserve this shit. They really do. And I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for them. I did this show in one take. Hell yeah. Proud of myself. Fuck yeah. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this edition of Time to BS with Staniel Smooth. I've came to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Time to BS Podcast, at Staniel Smooth. Like, subscribe, follow the show, whatever the hell you want to do, just support the show. Because helps us keep going. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am Staniel Smooth. I'm coming to you from the lovely beaches of Long Island, New York, and I will see you all in this life and most certainly the next one. Cheers, guys.